I've taken the liberty of sending some men to occupy the town. If we hurry, we might take them unprepared.
What's up guys, welcome back to my Battle Realms playthrough. My name is Alex and today I'm going to show you why I dislike open environment maps. But first, we've got the Wolf Miners. I never thought I'd be fighting against them. As much as it pains me, we have no choice but to fight. We should clear them away and move on to the Swan's Pool. The geisha trust me, so I must survive if we're to reclaim the orb. So first things first, I have a stranded archer right there that I better save before she dies.
Agreed.
Because in case she will die, I will not be able to use her.
All right.
So, our paths cross again. It seems I owe you my life.
So now that she is safe, meet Ara, and I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. But she didn't mention that her path with Kenji cross again for nothing. Because it seems like they had a mutual past together back when Kenji was in exile. Now I probably didn't mention it, but the game did, from the first moments of the campaign, that Kenji came back from his exile. Now the area that I start the map in, although it is very appealing with that hut and stable already built, it still doesn't suit for building a base. So what's left to be done for now is migrate all my units to an environment full of resources and get moving with building and army construction.
Right. Yes, sir.
Okay, so while I prepare my base, let's get back to storytelling. We were talking about Kenji's exile. Now his exile took 7 years and then he decided to come back to his homeland. The interesting thing about his exile is that it wasn't enforced on him by law or anything of the sort. Kenji actually exiled himself. On the first part of the walkthrough there was that peasant that accused Kenji for killing his own father. The thing is, when you see Kenji run off screen, this is the moment his exile begins.
Yes, sir.
Now he self-exiled himself because at this scene he was supposedly surrounded by armed men and he realized that if he stays, his punishment will be death. One more thing to take notice of is that his father was believed to be a bad ruler in comparison to former rulers. For that reason, Kenji used to criticize his father and have a lot of debates with him regarding his decisions. Ironically, because of these debates and criticism, Kenji was already considered half traitor. So obviously, the flashback with his father was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yes.
So during his exile, Kenji crosses paths with Ara. I don't know what the circumstances were, but it seems like they developed some sort of code of honor which led Ara to follow Kenji's footsteps back to his land. And now back to our business.
On the way.
I said at the beginning of the video that I dislike open environment maps, and the reason for that is pretty obvious, I think. First of all, I mentioned that I prefer playing defensively. And to play defensively you have to have the least amount of exposure points, which I don't even come close to in this map. I'm exposed from the north, east and south. The second reason is in terms of gameplay strategy. I need to be a bit more composed and conservative with my forces, meaning I don't have the luxury of taking a maximum amount of units with me. Well, at least that's how I play. But as you can see, I'm even forced to spread my base defenses into 2 directions and cover a 3rd direction with the army I'm building. For this specific map, I'm putting Ara on the watchtower, because for now I'm being able to build only 1 watchtower. And the thing is, Ara has a phenomenal reach with her arrows, so she can partially assist the north and south openings. But later on, in later maps, She can be a real
Forward.
asset to an attack force.
I have focus.
So I think having Kenji and Otomo protecting the north opening and an archer along with them will be sufficient. I really need to have those yank points coming to research
follow
my
your lead.
archer's
On
battle
target.
gears. For now I only have 2, so I can research only Zen accuracy, but to deal with the watchtowers from afar I need arrow craftsmanship.
For the serpent! Certainly.
It shall be.
Having Shinja mounted on a horse and Ara on the watchtower and having an archer to cover them would
With
be a
bow
good
in
enough
hand.
combo for the attacks from the east. And speaking of horses,
On target.
you might ask yourself why I'm not building a new stable and start taming horses and mount units on them. To be honest, I only use horses
Yes.
on a specific unit which I can't train at this moment.
Certainly.
Also, horses have their own abilities, so in case you mount a unit with a good ability on it, you won't be able to see your unit's ability anymore. Unless the horse
On
dies,
target.
of course. Also, if you start building a stable and you want to know where horses are located on
It
this
shall
map,
be.
they are marked as brown dots on the minimap.
Forward. I follow your lead.
And now it's time to put the army I've mastered to the test and see if it's good enough.
Onward.
Yeah, so obviously I underestimated their forces.
The animals will pay.
Certainly.
And at this point I might want to cut my losses and return to the base. At least by attacking the standalone watchtower I managed to earn 2 yank points, which will be useful in researching the arrow craftsmanship battle gear that I wanted.
On target. With bow in hand.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so 2 or 3 melee fighters, and the rest of them should be archers. One thing I forgot to mention in the previous episode while I was talking about the tiers units have, when you go ahead and train a second tier unit and above, they will have the ability to use
and steady.
both ranged and melee attacks. Of course, you can't expect both of their attack types have the same potency, such as the Dragon
Yes.
Warrior that has that energy ball that he shoots, which sucks in my opinion. Didn't manage to see if it was effective against anything while I was playing. So I have 15 out of 30 units at my disposal at this moment, and if you see that orange bar at the bottom left, it fills really slowly. So I'll build some more huts and try to increase its rate. By the way, I'm not sure if I said it earlier, but that bar is a peasant production meter. Every time it fills, the peasant hut spawns a peasant. And another trivial thing regarding that bar is that it doesn't have to be orange all the time. It depends on the color of your army. So if I were to create a skirmish map while playing against my friends or against an AI and pick a blue flag as my representing color, that meter will be blue. As I said, it's trivial.
Yes, done.
Right.
Placing Gara on that watchtower was probably a good idea for this map. Look at how she's taking out enemy units one by one. By the way, when you see me select a group of units and freeze for a second, it's for the purpose of pressing N, which makes the units hold their ground. That is why you see my melee units restrain themselves from attacking anyone in sight. The reason I do that is because the AI could be dumb sometimes and tend to do whatever it wants. You can see it each time a unit just decides to walk somewhere I don't want him to. Usually I'm doing that while moving with my army towards enemy lines. It makes sure that I move gradually and don't get surprised most of the time.
Yes, sir. I follow the dragon. Yes.
These guys are just relentless. They can't restrain themselves from having a piece of me. And unfortunately, I've lost an archer.
I follow the dragon.
Just a few more archers and I think I'm set for an attack. And this time I'll try to show you how sneakily you can use arrow craftsmanship. Alright, my patience has ended. It's time to roll out.
Yes, sir.
Certainly.
The idea is to put my archers to the front so that I'll be able to prevent any unnecessary damage to my melee units. The reason I take any melee units at all is as I'd like to think of insurance. If anyone gets too close to my archers, they get to have some action.
It shall be.
And here is an example of how I can use my new ability of longer range into play. And that tower has had its due.
Focused and steady.
I follow your lead.
On the way.
It shall be.
I follow the dragon.
Done. On it.
All right.
I'll probably train some more units and have them sent to my main army as I happened to lose an archer while I was attacking that watchtower.
Onward.
Right.
On target. Certainly. On target. Certainly.
I walk your path. Lead and I'll follow.
I have focused. Focused and steady. shall be. My aim is focused and steady. It shall be. I have focus.
Those sneaky
Focused and
bastards
steady.
almost had my base defenseless.
Forward. I follow the dragon.
As you command.
I have focus.
Just gonna let this archer regenerate a bit.
Yes.
Certainly.
Forward. I follow your lead. Lead, and I'll follow. I follow the dragon.
My bow is strong.
I walk your path.
On the way.
Focused and steady.
On it.
So if you remember
Alright.
that text in the beginning of the map that stated
It
that
shall be.
Kenji is filled with pain and sorrow by the thought that we have to fight against the Wolf Clan, last episode I mentioned that there are 4 clans in total in this game. 2 represent the evil and 2 represent the good. Keep in mind that both the dragon and the
I
Wolf
follow the
Clan are
dragon.
on the same side, supposedly. Both of them want
and I'll
peaceful
follow.
life. That is why Kenji is somewhat sad about this whole situation.
Focused and steady.
Forward. I follow your lead. Forward. I follow the dragon. I follow your lead.
You can see that they start sending fewer units to oppose me, and I reach their base, it seems.
Forward. I walk your path.
And it starts smelling like it's the end for them.
I follow your lead.
On target. Focused and steady.
Onward. Forward. I follow the dragon.
Certainly.
I walk your path. I follow the dragon.
By the way, that boulder can be really deadly if someone were to push it on me.
Onward.
It seems like I found the rabbit's hole and a watchtower to guard it.
My bow is strong. Focused and steady.
Alright, so it seems like we've reached to the end of this map. Some cutscenes are about to roll. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
I didn't want this.
Every death here today saved two. No one could ask for more.
This land never changes.
I'll give the wolf miners this much. They know how to run.
They've had a lot of practice. If it's not us driving them to the ground, it's their warlock masters.
We have Father to thank for that. They serve the Lotus, and the Lotus serve us.
For now.
The Oja are the only family to serve as lords of this land. The Serpent clan will rule long after Father's gone.
You mean you'll rule?
Of course. I'm the firstborn son. Besides, you spend every free moment carousing with commoners in back alley wine shops. You've no stomach for war.
Not the way Father fights it.
Yes, always winning is such a burden.
There must be a better way.
They fight because they fear the Serpent clan.
I'm not my father, Atomo.
There are worse men you could be.
Not many.
Did you kill him?
Does it matter?
Not to me.
All of us fighting together. It's just like old times, eh? Our scouts report that the traitors have abandoned Riverside rather than face you. The Lotus Wizards to the east haven't moved yet, but if we put that tower of theirs to the torch...
No.
But we have them by the throat!
If we push on, we can reach the Swan's Pool by dusk.
Curse him! With the army he's mustered, we could secure the lowlands and rebuild the Serpent clan. What does he want with the orb anyway?
You know the legends.
Rumors, gossip. I used to stare at that thing for hours, searching for some spark of power. It's just a pretty stone. He's insane.
He's all we have.